Alright, welcome back. This is part 2 of a 2000 per army 2v2 battle meeting engagement. If you don't know what we're talking about, watch part 1. So, picking up where we left off, this Knight Errant and the BSB have beat and overrun in the middle here against, we beat 20 some odd zombies. In turn 3, the Orcs here, we don't reach the bolt thrower, so the Orcs here are able to countercharge us, which is not in our favor, not at all what we wanted to have happen, but that's okay. And the bolt throwers are able to shoot and pick off the BSB. These goblins, these Knight Goblins, charge the men-at-arms in the flank, and men-at-arms are pretty weak. They're easily destroyed, run down, and we lose one of our two casters, not prophetesses, but you know what they're called. Um, these Blood Knights charge my Dryads. The Vampire should be in that unit, but it's not pictured there. On this side, we're moving around. My Wild Riders move up. This is where I make a big mistake with my Wild Riders. I decided to focus them on the unit of Night Goblins that's up here. They have Fanatics. I know they've got Fanatics. At this point, what I should have done is angled everybody so that my Wild Riders are facing these Orcs, my Eagle's facing the Orcs, and then these Treekin are facing the Orcs, so that I can charge all sides and that he's in trouble. I don't do that. My mistake. Instead, I said these guys have not had a chance to move up. This is their turn. The Treekin gets shot. Bang, kills one in the middle, but all things considered, not too bad. So poof, the vampire's back in this unit where he should be. They easily kill my Dryads. They overrun because they're frenzied, and they end up in the river. And you can see the dice in the back, awful lot of 5s and 6s. That's no danger train fails. They're good. These are our men-at-arms being picked up. You notice the fine hand modeling done by Hattie. Everyone can ooh and ah when they're ready. Which is a real bummer because we lose one of our casters. That's a fair bit of points we lose. Also, this round, I charge with... I'll get to that in a sec. But so we're fighting this fight. This is after the Knights go. And this is all the saves that we make when the Orcs attack back, which is pretty great. I think I knocked a few 6s over, and so we're able to stick around after this combat, which is really remarkable. You can notice the BSB is gone here. At this time, this is where we lost a whole bunch of points, losing the damsel, the men-at-arms. We lost my Wild Riders, which was a lot of points. We charged them simultaneously with a unit of knights at some goblins. They threw the fanatics out and killed my Wild Riders. So this is turn 3. This is when all that actually comes down to play. I thought this was cool. You guys could check out the dice minder by the Orcs and Goblins. They're back in the building clearly. So here are the Knights Errant that have charged the Orcs and Goblins, beat them, overrun, while my Wild Riders die to the Fanatics. It's just silly on my part. I keep throwing those guys away, and I really just haven't figured out how to use them to their best to fit maximum. So I'll get back to you guys on that one. This combat, his Lord is finally beaten the Grail Knights. I take my Glade Guard and I shoot everything I can from short range at his general on the Abyssal Steed and end up killing the steed, and so the general only has 1 wound left. Here are the Mighty Glade Guard, and you can see the general just on the edge of the woods there past my Treeman. Meanwhile, the Treeman's slugging it away with the trolls. They are river trolls, and so they get to do their throw up thing, and they're really a pain in the neck, and just because with their regeneration I wound them a couple of times but don't get to do too much damage, but not getting Thunder Stomp is a real pain in the neck, and so I can only do so many wounds. He usually does the same amount or less back. The one time I lose battle, I am rerollable stubborn 9, but it takes quite a few turns to beat these guys. We beat them just at the very end. So the Orcs and Goblins defeat these Knights Errant who flee. They end up right next to me. And of course they lose their ward save at this point. But I really like the paint job on these guys. I think they're going to look really, really sharp when they're finally finished, but they look great. So, turn 4. The Vampire General moves into this unit of Orcs and Goblins. The Orcs and Goblins cannot actually, although they're savage and frenzied, they can't reach the Knights. Or for some reason, I can't remember why exactly, we determined that they are unable to charge. So they don't charge. The general moves into this unit, and now he's protected. So with 1 wound left, we can no longer single him out and get into combat and kill this guy. He'd be worth a ton of points, but we can't really figure out how to do it. We've got the Pegasus Knights, which haven't done anything. They're without the models. We kind of forget that they're there. They're sort of unimposing and can't get around these Blood Knights who are holding that side, and would probably die if we went against the Blood Knights. But the Blood Knights, meanwhile, have charged through a trebuchet, overrun after that, and we realize that they're just going to keep mopping up whatever's on this side of the board, so we start spreading our units out, trying to move them around. We're hoping that when he charges in the river, he'll die, but that doesn't seem to really be working. I think he might have put 1 wound on the vampire here, but he's not too fussed. He gets it back. He's got some special sword or something. You can see here, my Treeman's still slugging it away. I've killed a few of the trolls. I'm down to 2 wounds. I get in combat with the Spider Riders and my Great Eagle. Do a couple wounds each, and I lose combat, but I stick around. I was hoping to do a little bit more here, but that's alright. It would have been a nice way to win a few points, but I basically just kept the Eagle around, trying to make him think about it, keep these guys from flanking anybody else doing a whole lot of damage. So, Wood Elf turn 4, the end of the game, charge my Treekin into the corner of the trolls. We win that combat, mop a few extra points, or maybe the Pegasus Knights. The Pegasus Knights come in there. I was tempted to charge his unit in the brew house, but realized I'm not going to win, just be throwing points away. At this point, we decide to call it. It's the end of turn 4. We just count on points. This was just such a chaotic, bizarre, wild game with trying to juggle 4 people and moves and stuff. We were all starting to see double by the end of it, but really fantastic and a whole lot of fun. And when we counted up points, it was something like 1257 to 1324. We had a slight edge, but as we all know, it wasn't quite enough to be an actual victory. But we feel pretty darn good about it. If this was to continue, I don't really know what would happen. The Blood Knights would be tough, but they'd be out of the way. I know that we wasted a bunch of points throwing away a damsel and some little peasants, and definitely throwing away my Wild Riders. That's just so silly and unacceptable. I keep doing that and need to use them much more effectively. In any case, thank you all for watching. It was a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed it too.